My wife acted embarrassed by me at the office party. Her boss slipped me her number. Then chaos. The company Christmas party was at this upscale hotel downtown. Chandeliers, open bar, the whole corporate setup. I should have been excited. First time meeting Victoria's colleagues after 8 years of marriage. Instead, I'm watching my wife treat me like some embarrassing relative she got stuck with. Every time someone approached us, same routine. "Oh, this is my husband," with this forced smile. Then immediately pivot to work gossip while I stood there invisible. I run my own business optimization consulting firm. 3 employees, solid clients, make more than she does. But tonight, I might as well have been unemployed. "Honey, get me another wine." She didn't even look at me, just waved dismissively while laughing at something her coworker Brad said. Brad, who wore too much cologne and kept touching her arm. I walked to the bar, ordered her Chardonnay and a whiskey for myself. The bartender made small talk. Even the stranger treated me better than my own wife. When I returned, Victoria was deep in conversation with 3 colleagues, using all those corporate buzzwords she practices in the mirror. I stood there holding her wine. 30 seconds. A full minute. She finally took it without acknowledgement. "We should probably mingle more," I suggested quietly. The look she gave me could have frozen hell. "I am mingling with my colleagues about work." Translation: "You don't belong in my professional world." That's when I noticed her across the room. Mid-30s, black dress that probably cost $5 grand. Everything about her screamed executive power. She'd been watching our interaction. She walked over with this presence that made conversation stop. "Ladies," she said, natural authority in her voice. My wife transformed instantly. Spine straight, voice higher, smile genuine for the first time all night. "Ms. Cho, we were just discussing the Henderson account." "Excellent," Ms. Cho said, then turned to me. "And you must be Victoria's husband." "I'm Evelyn Cho, Regional Director. I've heard absolutely nothing about you, which is fascinating considering Victoria talks about everything else constantly." Direct hit. Victoria went pale. "Well, he's very busy." Victoria jumped in nervously. "Consulting, very technical stuff, computers and things." Made me sound like I fixed printers at Best Buy. Ms. Cho's eyebrow raised. "What field specifically?" "Business optimization and efficiency systems. I help companies streamline operations, reduce overhead costs, improve productivity metrics, mostly manufacturing and tech sectors." "Impressive. Our quarterly efficiency reports have been disappointing. Third quarter, we lost $2.3 million to operational redundancies. That's usually a process mapping issue. Legacy systems contradicting each other creates bottlenecks nobody sees." Exactly what our consultant said. They wanted $500,000 to fix it. I could do it for a third of that in 6 weeks. Victoria grabbed my arm hard, nails digging in. "He's very busy though. Booked solid." Ms. Cho smiled. Not friendly, knowing. She pulled out her card, wrote something on the back, handed it to me. "My personal cell. Call me Monday morning, 9 sharp. Let's discuss a contract." Then she turned to Victoria, voice dropping to ice. "Victoria, my office first thing Monday. We need to discuss your upcoming performance review." She leaned closer, just loud enough for us. "Like how married people typically mention their spouses, especially when their spouse can solve a multi-million-dollar problem we've been struggling with. Interesting behavior." Victoria's grip went limp. Ms. Cho straightened. "Enjoy your evening, everyone." She walked away. Victoria stood frozen. Brad cleared his throat. Consulting. Cool." Victoria turned to me, panicked. "What did she write? Show me." I flipped the card over. Under her number in elegant handwriting, "Your wife's performance review is next week." Victoria looked at the card and started crying. The ugly kind where snot runs and breathing stops. People were staring, but she was past caring. "I don't want to be married anymore," she said. Just said it. Right there. "I haven't wanted this for 2 years, but I can't leave because that means admitting I failed." She was sobbing now. "I thought if I made work perfect enough, I could ignore how much I hate my life." She wiped her face, mascara everywhere. Brad appeared with napkins, and she leaned into him without thinking. Muscle memory from months of lunch breaks, and I watched her choose comfort over me in front of everyone we knew. I stood there for maybe 10 seconds. Everyone was looking at me now, waiting to see what I'd do. I set my whiskey down on the nearest table and walked out. Didn't run, didn't make a scene, just left. The valet brought my car around and I drove home in complete silence. No radio, no nothing. Just streetlights and the sound of my own breathing. I sat in the driveway for 20 minutes before going inside. Our house, paid off 3 years ago because my consulting business did so well. The business she just told an entire room of people was computers and things. She came home around 2 a.m. I heard her stumble in, heard her crying in the bathroom. I stayed in the guest room with the door locked. Monday morning, 9 a.m. sharp, I called Evelyn Cho. "Good morning," she said. Professional, like the Christmas party never happened. "I'd like to discuss that contract." "Excellent. Can you start today? I'll have security prepare a badge and workspace." "Today works. Perfect. And just so we're clear, this is purely business. What I witnessed Friday night was unprofessional behavior from my employee. You solving our efficiency problem is separate from that. Understood. Good. See you at noon. I showed up at Victoria's office building at 11:45. Security had my badge ready. Temporary contractor access, all systems except payroll and HR. The office was open floor plan, glass everywhere. I could see Victoria at her desk, typing frantically. She looked up when I walked in, and I swear she aged 5 years in that moment. I set up in a conference room. Evelyn came by with IT to get me system access. Victoria watched from her desk, phone pressed to her ear but not talking to anyone. Around 2 p.m., one of Victoria's coworkers stopped by the conference room. Janet, I think. Wore too much perfume and had that concerned face people make when they want gossip. "So nice that you're working here now," she said. "Victoria must be thrilled. We haven't really discussed it." "Well, it's great you're finally working again. Victoria's been so patient with you." I looked up from my laptop. "Excuse me?" "Oh, after you lost your business. That must have been so hard. But now you're getting back out there. That's wonderful." My business hadn't gone anywhere. 3 employees, solid client list, made more than Victoria. But clearly someone had been telling stories. "Who told you I lost my business?" Janet's face went red. Victoria mentioned, that things had been tough and— "Janet," Victoria appeared in the doorway. "Did you need something?" "No, I was just saying hi to— I'm sure he's very busy. Let's let him work." Janet scurried away. Victoria stood there, not coming in, not leaving. "We need to talk," she said quietly. "I'm on the clock. Evelyn's paying me to fix your company's efficiency problem, not discuss our marriage. Please, after work." "Fine, I'll be home by 6. She nodded and left. I went back to work but couldn't concentrate. Finally lost my business. Patient with me. How many people had she told? By 4 p.m., I'd had 3 more similar interactions. A guy named Kevin who said he was glad I was getting back on my feet. A woman named Amber who mentioned Victoria was such a rock during my difficult time. Even the IT guy said something about it being great to see me working again. Victoria had told everyone I was unemployed. I finished at 5:30, declined Evelyn's invitation for drinks with the team, and drove home. Victoria's car was already in the driveway. She was at the kitchen table with a glass of wine. Not her first, based on the bottle. "I can explain," she started. "How many people did you tell I lost my business?" She stared at her wine. "It wasn't like that. Janet said you told her I lost my business. Kevin said you mentioned I was getting back on my feet. Amber called you a rock during my difficult time. How many people, Victoria?" "Most of the office, okay? But I had a reason." "What reason could you possibly have for lying about me being unemployed?" She took a long drink. "Because it was easier than explaining why you never came to work events. Everyone else brings their spouse to things. I couldn't keep saying you were busy. They'd think we had problems. So instead you told them I was unemployed. I said you'd had business setbacks and were struggling. I didn't think anyone would tell you, because you thought I'd never work there." She didn't answer. "You were embarrassed of me," I said. "So you made up a story where I'm some loser who lost everything and you're the saint wife sticking by me." "It wasn't about embarrassment. It was about managing perception. People judge you at work based on everything, including your personal life. Having a husband who never shows up looks bad. Having a husband who's going through a tough time looks understandable." I sat down across from her. "You've been lying about me for how long?" "A year, maybe 18 months. 18 months of telling 40 people I'm unemployed while I'm actually making more than you. I know how it sounds. Do you? Because to me it sounds like you've been systematically destroying my reputation so you could feel better about treating me like garbage." She flinched. "I never meant for it to go this far, but it did. And now I'm working at your office where everyone thinks I'm some charity case you're dragging along. I'll fix it. I'll tell everyone the truth. Will you? Or will you just wait until I leave and tell everyone I was lying about having a business?" She started crying again. "I don't know what to do. Everything's falling apart. You should have thought about that before you made me your cover story." I went upstairs. She didn't follow. The next morning, Evelyn had me set up in the same conference room. I spent the day mapping their workflow systems, identifying redundancies and tracking unnecessary expenses. Standard efficiency audit stuff. Around 11 a.m., Victoria walked past the conference room 3 times. Just walking, not going anywhere, clearly wanting to talk. I ignored her. Lunchtime, Brad showed up with takeout and asked if I wanted to join him and a few others. I was hungry, so I agreed. We sat in the break room, 5 of us. Brad, Kevin, Amber, someone named Tony, and me. They were nice enough, asked me questions about consulting, made jokes about their boss, normal coworker stuff. Then Brad said something that stopped me cold. "So, what made you decide to start working again?" I put down my sandwich. "I never stopped working." "Oh, Victoria said." I know what Victoria said. It wasn't true. I've been running my consulting firm for 6 years. 3 employees, solid client list, making more than my wife. Everyone went quiet. Amber looked at Kevin. Tony looked at his phone. Brad cleared his throat. "Oh, well, Good for you, man. Why would she tell everyone I lost my business? No one answered. Finally, Kevin said, maybe she just got confused about something? For 18 months? More silence. Brad stood up. I should get back to work. Everyone scattered. I sat there alone with my sandwich, watching them hurry back to their desks. I pulled out my phone and called my business partner, James. He answered on the second ring. Hey, you at that new client site? Yeah. Question for you. If someone spent 18 months telling 40 people you were unemployed, what would you do? I'd be pissed. Why, what happened? I told him everything. The Christmas party, Evelyn's offer, Victoria's lies, the coworkers treating me like I was finally getting back on my feet. James was quiet for a long time. Then, dude, she's been running a smear campaign against you. I think she was just embarrassed. No, think about it. She tells everyone you lost your business. She treats you like garbage at a public event. She's building a narrative where you're the problem and she's the victim. That's not embarrassment, that's strategy. Strategy for what? For when she leaves you. She's getting ahead of it, making sure everyone knows you're dead weight before she drops you. I sat there staring at my half-eaten sandwich. That's paranoid, is it? Because from where I'm sitting, your wife just got caught lying about you to her entire office and her response was to make excuses instead of apologizing. That sound like someone who made an innocent mistake? I need to go. Watch your back, man, I'm serious. I hung up and went back to work, but I couldn't focus. Strategy, narrative, getting ahead of it. I was doing an efficiency audit. I had access to their systems, including email. I shouldn't have looked. I know that. It was wrong, probably illegal, definitely unethical, but I looked anyway. Victoria's email account had 2,847 unread messages and about 15,000 archived ones. I searched for my name, 63 results. I started reading. The early ones were normal. Victoria asking someone to add me to an invitation list. Victoria declining an event because I had a client dinner. Normal married couple stuff. Then about 2 years ago, the tone changed. Victoria to Brad. He's being impossible about coming to the holiday party. Honestly, I'm tired of making excuses for him. Victoria to Amber. My husband doesn't understand how important these work events are for my career. It's frustrating. Victoria to Janet. He's going through some business stuff, pretty stressed about it. I'm trying to be supportive, but it's exhausting. Except I wasn't going through business stuff. 2 years ago, I landed my biggest client and we had our best year ever. The messages got worse. Victoria to Brad. I don't know how much longer I can do this. He's become this weight around my neck and I can't shake him off without looking like the bad guy. Victoria to Kevin. My husband's business failed and he's in denial about it. I'm basically supporting us while he pretends he's still successful. That one was from 14 months ago, the month we closed our second biggest contract. I kept reading. More lies to more people. She'd told Janet I was depressed. Told Amber I refused to look for work. Told Brad I spent all day playing video games. None of it was true. None of it. Then I found a message from 3 weeks before the Christmas party. Victoria to Brad. I'm going to ice him out at the party so everyone sees how incompatible we are. Need witnesses for when I leave. I read it 3 times. Need witnesses for when I leave. James was right. She'd been planning this. I searched Brad's name in her email. 247 results. I started reading chronologically. The first message was from 2 years ago. Brad welcoming Victoria to the team, offering to show her around. Professional, normal. The messages stayed professional for about 3 months. Then they started having lunch, coffee breaks, happy hours after work. Then, about 18 months ago, Victoria to Brad. Thanks for listening today. I can't talk to him about any of this. You actually understand me. Brad to Victoria. Anytime. That's what friends are for. The messages got more frequent. Daily, sometimes multiple times a day. Nothing explicitly romantic, but the tone was there. Inside jokes, complaints about work, constant communication. Then I found the messages where they talked about me. Brad. Your husband still refusing to come to work events? Victoria. He says he's too busy with clients. More like too busy ignoring me. Brad. His loss. More time for us to hang out. Victoria. Silver lining, right? The messages escalated. Victoria complaining about me. Brad sympathizing. Victoria saying she felt trapped. Brad saying she deserved better. Victoria wondering if she'd made a mistake marrying me. Brad saying it was never too late to fix mistakes. Then, from 8 months ago, Victoria to Brad. I think I need to leave him. I just don't know how to do it without looking like the villain. Brad to Victoria. You're not the villain. He's the one who checked out of the marriage. People will understand. Victoria to Brad. But I'm worried they won't. I need everyone at work to see that we don't work together, that I tried, that he's the problem, not me. Brad to Victoria. So show them. Bring him to an event. Let people see how miserable you are together. Victoria to Brad. I've thought about that, but he refuses to come to anything. Brad to Victoria. Tell him he has to come. Make it about supporting your career. Then just let everyone see the truth. Victoria to Brad. The Christmas party. That's perfect. Biggest event of the year. Everyone will be there. Brad to Victoria. Exactly. I sat back in my chair. The conference room suddenly felt too small. She'd been planning it for 8 months. The Christmas party wasn't a bad night where she got overwhelmed. It was a performance. Scripted, practiced, deliberately cruel. I kept reading. Victoria to Brad, 1 week before the party. I'm going to treat him like he doesn't exist. Not mean, just dismissive, uninterested. Let everyone see we have nothing in common. Brad to Victoria. Won't he get upset? Victoria to Brad. Probably, but that makes it more believable. People will think, wow, they really are miserable together. Brad to Victoria. You've really thought this through. Victoria to Brad. I've had 2 years to think about it. I just need everyone to see what I see, then leaving him makes sense. 2 messages from the day of the Christmas party. Victoria to Brad. Tonight's the night. Wish me luck. Brad to Victoria. You got this. I'll be right there supporting you. And then 1 from the morning after the party. Victoria to Brad. Phase 1 complete. Everyone saw how miserable we are. Now I just need to coast until my promotion comes through, then I'm out and we can go public. Brad to Victoria. I'm so proud of you. I know that was hard. Victoria to Brad. It was, but necessary. He ruined it at the end by talking to Evelyn, but whatever. The damage is done. Brad to Victoria. People definitely noticed. Janet asked me if you two were okay. I told her you've been struggling for a while. Victoria to Brad. Perfect. By the time I actually file for divorce, no one will be surprised. I closed the laptop. My hands were shaking. I went to the bathroom and splashed cold water on my face. James was right. She hadn't been embarrassed. She'd been executing a plan. 18 months of lies about me being unemployed. 8 months of planning to humiliate me at the Christmas party. All so she could leave me and have everyone think it was justified. I pulled out my phone and called James again. What's up? I found her emails. You were right. She's been planning to leave me for months. She staged the Christmas party specifically to humiliate me in front of witnesses. Jesus. She told Brad it was phase 1 of getting out. She's been building a narrative where I'm the dead weight and she's the long-suffering wife, so when she files for divorce, everyone will support her. That's sociopathic, man. She discussed strategy. She practiced her responses. She literally called it a performance. James was quiet for a moment. What are you going to do? I don't know. You have proof, though. Screenshots? I could get them. Get them. Document everything. You'll need it for the divorce. Yeah. You okay? Not really. You need anything? Want to come stay with us for a few days? No, I'm good. I just need to think. I hung up and went back to the conference room. My laptop was still there, still logged into Victoria's email. I took screenshots of everything. The messages planning the Christmas party, the lies about me being unemployed, the conversations with Brad about leaving me, the phase 1 complete message, all of it. I saved it to a flash drive and put it in my pocket. Then I went back to work like nothing happened. Victoria avoided me for the rest of the day. I saw her leave at 5 p.m. without saying goodbye. I stayed until 7 p.m., finishing up the initial audit. Evelyn stopped by around 6:30. How's it going? Good. I've identified about 40 redundancies in your workflow system and at least 6 unnecessary software subscriptions costing you around $80K a year. Excellent. You work fast. It's what I do. She hesitated. Victoria seems tense today. Everything okay? No, but that's not your problem. Fair enough. Let me know if you need anything. She left. I packed up and drove home. Victoria was in the living room with a bottle of wine. Again. We need to talk, she said when I walked in. Okay. I'm sorry about lying to people. I know it was wrong, but I want to fix this. I want us to fix this. I set my bag down. Do you? Yes. I know things have been bad, but we can work on it. We can go to counseling or something. Why did you tell Brad the Christmas party was phase 1? Her face went white. What? I read your emails, Victoria. All of them. She stood up. You went through my work email? I have system access for the audit. I searched my name. Want to guess what I found? That's illegal. You can't use my emails like that. 18 months of you lying about me being unemployed. 8 months of you planning to humiliate me at the Christmas party. Messages where you tell Brad you need witnesses for when you leave. A message from the morning after the party that says phase 1 complete. She was backing away from me now. You had no right. You staged it. The whole thing. You practiced being dismissive. You told Brad you were going to treat me like I didn't exist so everyone would see we don't work together. You planned the entire night like it was some corporate strategy. I was unhappy. I needed people to understand why. So you humiliated me in front of 40 people on purpose. After spending a year and a half telling those same people I was unemployed while you were the saint wife supporting me. She was crying now. I didn't know what else to do. I wanted to leave, but I couldn't be the bad guy. I had to show everyone that we were wrong for each other. By lying. By performing. By deliberately making me feel like garbage in front of everyone you work with. You don't understand what it's like. I have a career here, a reputation. I couldn't just blow up my marriage without people understanding why. I laughed. Actually laughed. So you blew up my reputation instead. I had to protect myself. From what? From people thinking you left your successful husband for Brad? From looking like someone who cheated on their spouse? So instead, you made me the villain in a story you wrote yourself. She wiped her face. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. If you tell anyone about those emails, I'll say you fabricated them, that you hacked my account and created fake messages to make me look bad. I have screenshots with metadata. I'll say you photoshopped them. I'll tell everyone you've been abusive, that I was scared of you, that the affair, if there even was one, was my escape from a toxic marriage. I stared at her. You'd lie about me being abusive. If I have to, yes, people will believe me. I've spent 18 months building credibility at work while you were a ghost. Everyone knows I'm professional, reliable, trustworthy. You're just some consultant they met 2 days ago. Who do you think they'll believe? You're threatening to destroy what's left of my reputation if I expose you. I'm protecting myself, just like you would. No, Victoria, I wouldn't. I wouldn't lie about you for 18 months. I wouldn't stage a public humiliation. And I sure as hell wouldn't threaten to falsely accuse you of abuse to cover my tracks. Then you're naive. This is how the world works. You manage perception or perception manages you. I picked up my bag. I'm sleeping somewhere else tonight. If you walk out that door, I'm calling my lawyer tomorrow. And I'm telling everyone at work you've been threatening me. I turned around. Do whatever you want. I'm done. I left. Drove to a hotel, checked in, sat on the bed, and stared at the wall for 2 hours. My wife had spent 18 months planning to leave me. She'd lied to 40 people about me being unemployed. She'd staged a public humiliation at a Christmas party with her boyfriend's help. And now she was threatening to accuse me of abuse if I told anyone the truth. I pulled out my phone and texted Evelyn Cho. I need to present my audit findings to the full department. Can we schedule that for Friday afternoon? She responded in 2 minutes. Of course, I'll send the calendar invite. Everything okay? Just want to make sure everyone benefits from the findings. Perfect. I'll arrange the conference room. I set my phone down and opened my laptop. Pulled up the screenshots of Victoria's emails. Then I started building a presentation. Thursday, I went back to the office like nothing happened. Finished the audit, documented the findings, created the efficiency proposal. Victoria sent me 6 texts. I ignored all of them. She called twice. I didn't answer. Around 3 p.m., she came to the conference room, stood in the doorway. What are you doing? Working. That's what Evelyn's paying me for. I heard you're doing a presentation tomorrow. Standard practice. Present findings to stakeholders. Why the whole department? Because the whole department is affected by the operational redundancies. She stepped inside, closed the door. What are you really doing? I'm giving a presentation about efficiency workflows. You're going to show them the emails. Why would I do that? You said you'd tell everyone I'm abusive, that people would believe you over me. Please don't do this. Do what? My job? You know what I mean. No, Victoria, I really don't. I'm a consultant presenting audit findings to the department. That's all. I'll stop you. I'll tell Evelyn you're planning to attack me in front of everyone. Feel free, but I think she'll want to hear my efficiency recommendations. You know, the ones she's paying me to deliver. Victoria's face was red. If you embarrass me tomorrow, I will destroy you. I will make everyone believe you were the problem. I will ruin you. You already did that. You've just been doing it behind my back for 18 months. She left, slammed the door hard enough that people looked. I went back to work. Friday morning, I came in at 8 a.m. The conference room was set up for 40 people. Projector, screen, chairs arranged in rows. Brad showed up at 8:30 with coffee, tried to make small talk. I nodded along and didn't engage. Victoria arrived at 8:45 wearing her power suit. She sat in the front row next to Brad. Both of them looked tense. By 9 a.m., everyone was there. Evelyn stood up. Thank you all for coming. As you know, we brought in a consultant to analyze our operational efficiency. He's completed his audit and will present his findings today. Please give your full attention. She sat down. Everyone looked at me. I stood up and connected my laptop to the projector. Good morning. I'm here to present my findings from the 2-week efficiency audit of your department operations. Victoria relaxed slightly. This sounded normal. I started with the boring stuff. Software redundancies, workflow bottlenecks, unnecessary approval chains, standard consulting presentation, charts, graphs, cost breakdowns. 10 minutes in, Victoria was leaning back in her chair. She thought I'd chickened out. Then I changed slides. Now I want to address something I discovered during the audit that, while not directly related to operational efficiency, significantly impacts workplace culture and professional integrity. Victoria sat up straight. The slide showed a text message. Victoria to Brad, dated 3 weeks before the Christmas party. I'm going to treat him like garbage tomorrow night. Everyone needs to see we don't work. I let it sit there for a moment. People started reading. The room got very quiet. This message is from my wife to her coworker Brad, planning her behavior at the Christmas party. The party where I met many of you for the first time. The party where my wife treated me like I didn't exist while everyone watched. I clicked to the next slide. Another message. Phase 1 complete. Everyone saw how miserable we are. Now I just need to coast until my promotion comes through, then I'm out and we can go public. Victoria's face was bright red. She was gripping the arms of her chair so hard her knuckles were white. This was sent the morning after the Christmas party. Phase 1 complete. The public humiliation wasn't an accident or a bad night. It was a staged performance. Next slide. More messages. Victoria to Brad. I need everyone at work to see that we don't work together, that I tried, that he's the problem, not me. Brad to Victoria. So show them. Bring him to an event. Let people see how miserable you are together. Victoria to Brad. The Christmas party. That's perfect. Everyone will be there. I clicked through several more messages showing the planning. How Victoria discussed practicing dismissive responses. How she told Brad she'd ice me out. How she needed witnesses for when she left. The room was silent. People were staring at Victoria. She was crying, but no one moved to comfort her. But that's not all, I said. Many of you were kind to me this week. Several of you mentioned being glad I was working again or getting back on my feet. You talked about my wife being patient during my difficult time. Next slide. Messages from Victoria to various coworkers. My husband's business failed and he's in denial about it. He's going through some business stuff, pretty stressed. I'm being supportive, but it's exhausting. He lost his company and won't look for work. I'm basically supporting us. All of these are lies, I said calmly. My consulting firm has been operating successfully for 6 years. We have 3 employees and a strong client list. I make more than my wife, but she's spent the last 18 months telling you I was unemployed, struggling, in denial about failure. I clicked to the next slide, the final message. Victoria to Brad. I need to protect myself, build the narrative before I leave. Make sure everyone knows he's dead weight so when I file for divorce, people understand why. I closed my laptop. My wife spent 18 months lying about me to 40 people. She staged a public humiliation at the Christmas party with her boyfriend's help. She did all this to build a narrative where she's the victim and I'm the problem, so when she left me for Brad, no one would question it. I looked directly at Victoria. You wanted everyone to see how incompatible we are. You wanted witnesses. Well, here they are. But this time, they're not just seeing what you wanted them to see. They're seeing the planning documents. The room stayed silent. No one moved. Victoria was sobbing openly now, mascara running down her face. Brad had his head in his hands. Evelyn stood up slowly. Victoria, Brad, please remain here. Everyone else is dismissed. People filed out quietly. Several looked at me as they passed. Janet nodded. Kevin mouthed, I'm sorry. Amber just looked stunned. When the room was empty except for Evelyn, Victoria, Brad, and me, Evelyn turned to me. Thank you for your presentation. It was very thorough. I thought everyone deserved to know it was performance art. Agreed. I'll have contracts drawn up for the efficiency work by Monday. I nodded and packed up my laptop. As I reached the door, Victoria found her voice. You humiliated me. In front of everyone I work with. I turned back. No, Victoria. You humiliated yourself. I just showed them the planning documents. I left, walked out of the building to my car. My hands were shaking. I sat in the driver's seat for 5 minutes before I could start the engine. When I got home, I changed the locks. 3 hours later, Victoria showed up, pounded on the door, screaming, Let me in! This is my house! I opened the door but stood in the frame. Good. You can get your things tomorrow with a police escort. Tonight you sleep somewhere else. You ruined my life. Everyone at work knows. Everyone saw those messages. You ruined your own life. You wrote the messages. I told you I'd destroy you if you did this. I told you people would believe I was the victim. Maybe they would have. But now they've seen your own words. 18 months of lies, 8 months of planning, all in your own words to your boyfriend. He's not my boyfriend. The messages say otherwise. She was crying and screaming at the same time. You're vindictive and cruel and you only did this to hurt me. No, Victoria. I did this because you spent 18 months systematically destroying my reputation so you could justify leaving me. You made 40 people think I was a failure. You staged a public humiliation at a Christmas party. You threatened to accuse me of abuse if I told the truth. All I did was let your coworkers read your own words. I'm going to sue you for invasion of privacy, for defamation, for everything. I had legitimate system access for the audit. I searched for my own name, and everything I showed was your actual words. Good luck with that lawsuit. She tried to push past me. I didn't move. You're not coming in. Get a hotel. Get a friend. Go to Brad's. I don't care. But you're not coming in here. This is my house too. Then call the police. Tell them your husband locked you out after you spent 18 months lying about him being unemployed and staging a public humiliation to justify leaving him for your coworker. See how that goes. She stood there for a long moment, breathing hard. Then she turned and walked back to her car. I closed the door, locked it, and sat on the couch. My phone started blowing up. 17 voicemails from Victoria. Texts alternating between begging and threatening. I'm sorry. Please let me in. We can fix this. You're a cruel person and I hope you die alone. Please, I have nowhere to go. I'm calling my lawyer first thing Monday. You're finished. I love you. Please don't do this. You're abusive and controlling and everyone will know. I saved them all but didn't respond. Saturday morning, Victoria's mother called. Hi, I'm trying to reach my daughter. Do you know where she is? No idea. She showed up here last night, but I didn't let her in. Why not? Did she tell you what happened? She said you humiliated her at work, that you showed private emails to her entire department. That's true. Want to know what the emails said? I'm not sure I want to get involved in your marital problems. Hold on. I pulled up the presentation on my laptop and sent it to her email. I just sent you something. Look at it and call me back. She hung up. 20 minutes later, my phone rang. Her mother was crying. She planned to humiliate you in public? She told her coworkers you were unemployed when you weren't? For 18 months? Yes. What kind of person does that? I don't know anymore. I'm so sorry. I had no idea. She's my daughter and I love her, but this is unconscionable. Thank you for saying that. Is there anything I can do? To help you, I mean. No, but I appreciate you calling. She's at Brad's apartment, by the way, if you needed to know. I figured. She hung up. An hour later, Victoria texted, "My own mother thinks I'm a monster. Are you satisfied?" I didn't respond. Sunday was quiet. I worked from home, caught up on my actual clients, tried to pretend my life wasn't imploding. Monday morning, Victoria showed up at the house with a police escort to get her things. She packed 3 suitcases without speaking to me. The officer asked if there were any safety concerns. I said no. They left. That afternoon, my lawyer called. I got a very angry email from Victoria's attorney. They want to discuss settlement terms. Already? She wants this over fast, probably before more people find out. What's she offering? 50-50 split of assets. No alimony either way, quick and clean. That works for me. You sure? You might be entitled to more given her behavior. I just want this over. I'll draw up the papers. Tuesday, Evelyn called me. How are you holding up? I've been better. Victoria resigned this morning. Brad was terminated for inappropriate workplace relationship and violation of professionalism standards. I didn't want her to lose her job. She didn't lose it. She quit. And Brad violated clear policies about workplace relationships. This isn't your fault. Doesn't feel that way. What you did took courage. You exposed calculated cruelty. That's not vindictive, it's just true. Thank you. Your efficiency proposal is being implemented next quarter, by the way. You saved us almost $3 million a year. That's great. I'll have final payments sent this week. And if you ever need a reference, call me. I worked from home for the next 2 weeks. Avoided going out. Screened my calls. Victoria left 18 more voicemails. I saved them all but didn't listen. Then one night she showed up at the house again. Sober this time. Looked like she'd lost 15 pounds. I need to talk to you. We don't have anything to discuss. Please, just 5 minutes. I let her in. We sat in the living room. She looked small, diminished somehow. I'm sorry, she said. I know it doesn't mean anything now, but I'm sorry. For which part? The 18 months of lies? The staged humiliation? The threats to accuse me of abuse? All of it. I was wrong. I thought I was being smart, managing the situation. I didn't think about what it would feel like to have someone do it back to me. I didn't do it back to you. I just stopped letting you control the narrative. I know. She wiped her eyes. I keep thinking about that night at the Christmas party. I felt so powerful watching you stand there with my wine while I ignored you. I thought I was in control of everything. You were. That's what made it so effective. I didn't know you were taking notes. I wasn't. I was just trying to survive the night you planned for 8 months. I know that now. Too late, but I know. She looked at her hands. Brad left me, moved to a different city, didn't even say goodbye, just texted me that he couldn't handle the fallout. I'm sorry. Don't be. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be with me either. What do you want, Victoria? I want to sign the divorce papers and move on. I can't fight anymore. You won. I lost. Let's just end this. I didn't want to win. I wanted my wife to stop lying about me. I know, but here we are. She pulled an envelope from her bag. The papers. I signed them. Just needs your signature and we're done. I took the envelope but didn't open it. That's it? 8 years and we're done? What else is there? I ruined everything. You exposed me. We can't come back from this. No, we can't. She stood up. For what it's worth, you were right. About everything. I was embarrassed of you. I did build a narrative. I did stage that night. And I would have let everyone keep believing you were unemployed and struggling if you hadn't stopped me. Why? Why do all that instead of just leaving? Because leaving meant admitting I failed, that I picked wrong, that our perfect marriage was a lie. I couldn't face that, so I made you the problem instead. You made me a villain in a story you wrote. Yes, and then you rewrote the ending. She walked to the door, stopped with her hand on the knob. That night at the Christmas party, I felt so powerful watching you stand there. I didn't know you were taking notes. You said that already, because it's the only thing I keep thinking about. I felt powerful. You looked defeated, and I liked it. What kind of person likes watching their husband suffer? I don't know. Me neither. Goodbye. She left. I sat there with the envelope for 20 minutes before opening it. All the papers were signed. All I had to do was add my signature and it would be over. I signed them that night, scanned and emailed them to my lawyer. 2 weeks later, it was official. 8 years of marriage over. I saw Victoria one last time at the lawyer's office for the final paperwork. She looked different, thinner, older somehow, like everything that happened had aged her. We signed the papers in silence. The lawyer notarized everything and said we were done. In the parking lot, Victoria called my name. I turned around. "That night at the Christmas party," she said, "I felt so powerful watching you stand there. I didn't know you were taking notes. You keep saying that. Because you taught me something." "What?" "That public humiliation is most effective when it's witnessed by everyone who matters to the target. You're a good student." She got in her car and drove away. I stood there for a minute watching her taillights disappear. Then I got in my car and drove home.